remember you?
Will you remember me?
For only $3 a month, you, loyal listener, can sponsor a sober podcaster. You can have access to our Patreon feed. Okay, guys. You can have access to our Patreon feed at patreon.com/worstpeople, WORSE. Every month, you'll get a mental health episode, which is us covering a movie that we like, a good movie. You'll get a newsletter talking about what's coming up and things that are going on with the show. You get access to archived episodes, and we have some other things in the works, including early access to Jack and I's Star Wars podcast, Han Took Shots First, and I have a couple other ideas in the ether.
Hopper.
Yeah.
In the mix.
So, I mean, for only $3 a month, you can help fight sobriety.
Yes. For just $3 a month, you can make sure that we have beers.
No podcaster left sober. That's my initiative, and I'm taking it across the country.
And it will be every month, without fail. You will get an extra episode. And like I said, there will be more benefits to you. So please check it out. Patreon.com/worstpeople. Welcome back. It's Made in Arizona month. And this week, we take a journey into the dark heart of the human psyche. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
I'm Serj.
And this is Bad Movies,
Worst People.
Welcome back, everybody. We're doing movies made in Arizona for February. You heard last week, The Postman.
This has a lot more Arizona than the Postman does.
It does. It's
It's
all
got
Arizona.
Tucson,
Yeah.
old Tucson,
New Tucson, old Tucson.
not quite new
little
Tucson.
baby Tucson.
Some studio in L.A.
Yeah, that's kind of not Tucson.
But it looks... No, it doesn't.
It looks like a studio in L.A.
I'll tell you, fucking none of it looks like the Yucatan.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, the special edition or the features that we saw, the guy said it. He's like, it's kind of like, I'll paraphrase, but it's like a romanticized version of Mexico from someone that's never been to Mexico.
Yeah, what people expect
For sure.
Mexico to
It was
look like
before
in
the
a
Breaking
movie.
Bad filter.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the description for this movie.
Okay.
Welcome to Tucson, Arizona, where we stay balled up against some big ol' armadillos in preparation that our nearest adversary, Mexico, may challenge us in their national sport of basketball. Here, cheap dreams are made, and fog machines rise like cicada from the dirt at the slightest moonlight to signal that it's always Dia de los Muertos somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's a t-shirt. It's Dia de los Muertos somewhere.
For sure.
Did we say what we're doing? We're doing The Laughing Dead.
I think we did, but say it again.
The Laughing Dead.
Laughing Dead.
oh, I'm dead laughing.
Laughing Dead, that's like my new term for bartenders. We're going to laugh at your joke, but we're dead inside.
This movie from 1989, not rated.
Oh.
Huh.
91 whole minutes. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
That's like the exact length the movie should be if it's this kind of movie.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
Directed by SP Somtow, who goes by another name also, but I'm not going to butcher it, so we'll just go with that one.
Yeah, I think he appreciates you.
Among
he-
like four others.
Yeah. He directed some other stuff that I'd never heard of, but I did have to write down one thing. He wrote a few episodes of TV, like cartoons in the 80s.
Okay.
The same year this movie came out, he wrote an episode of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Ooh.
Which is pretty awesome. I want to see that one.
Absolutely.
Who gets a fucking fist through their head in that episode?
It's the episode that got that show canceled. Like, it's a little too dark here with this, well, not human sacrifice.
Human squirrel. What were they? Chipmunks.
Yeah, they
They
were
were
monks.
anthropomorphic.
They were chipmunks. Still got that religious undertone.
No shit.
Nuns and chipmunks.
Serj had mentioned this movie to me last time he came here, and I had actually just picked it up from Vinegar Syndrome, who still isn't paying me to say their name, but I'll say it anyway.
Man, you'd be rich.
Oh, man. Yeah. If I could just get references, it'd be great.
Yeah, so we're always collecting garbage throughout the year, right? That's just what we do. We roll like a big old sticky lint trap
Yeah.
and pick up any garbage that catches our eye. Movies we're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Actually, like Christmas and birthdays, dog. My family knows what to get me, so they hit me up. They're like, "What movies do you want?"
Yeah.
And I think I got this one for my birthday in March.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think someone like yourself will appreciate. I had a Christmas party, back then, and what we did was a white elephant, but you had to bring a used Blu-ray. And it was kind of great because you got to learn a lot about the people bringing these used Blu-rays.
Yeah, for sure.
And what people were picking. So it's a fun time.
We had our friend who I know brought. He just stopped and bought some shit at like a thrift store, and he brought Ghost and I think the sequel to Mamma Mia.
Yeah, that's the one I ended up with was a sequel to Mamma Mia. Because once I opened it, nobody wanted to steal it. I was like, well, this is the bet I've made.
oh goddamn grandmama Mia.
All I know is I went to work that night, and I got home, and I had the movie Caddyshack, so
Yeah.
it worked out well for me. I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
there.
your wife cleaned up.
Scored.
SP Somtow is in this movie also. He's one of the first people we see playing Dr. Umzek.
Umzek?
Yeah.
Sure.
So open up the movie to a sunrise in the desert. It's the Yucatan Peninsula.
Oh,
Or
and
is
creepy
it?
skulls. There's creepy
And we're
skulls.
sacrificing kids, baby.
Or selling them first.
Oh shit, my
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
selling
No,
the
you
kids.
can't just sacrifice a kid. You gotta buy
We're
it.
watching the whole fucking like chain of commerce here.
We're watching the mini economy
From
of
birth
the
to
Yucatan
slaughter.
Peninsula.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Epstein sells this kid to Dr. Umsek, who then sacrifices her in the middle of the Yucatan desert.
Get it right, buddy.
And their cup overfloweth with child blood or caro syrup.
Dude, there's
Or
so
or
much
carrots.
blood.
It was a grip of blood.
And,
And you gotta wring that fucker out.
I know.
Oh,
People,
yeah.
people bleed a lot.
This
but
is like
when your heart stops beating, doesn't the blood stop?
No, they got one of those Juice-O-Matic sacrifice
Right, they had
tables,
a toothbrush,
man.
a toothpaste
Yeah.
squeezer.
Are you tired of wasting all that children's blood inside their body? Well, we got a device for you that
and
gets every
they're
drop.
they're also clearly like I'm gonna say clearly ancient Mayans or whatever because that's what they're credited as.
Yes.
They're nondescript fucking.
Oh, with all those bright,
Indigenous people.
those bright
yeah.
green
Yeah, yeah.
feathers that you can find in Mexico.
Yeah. They go out of their
green,
way to
blue,
make this
turquoise, red.
extra Mayan.
They got the headdresses, the chest dresses,
Mm-hmm.
the feet dresses.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're not dressed like that, every one of them is wearing nothing but white,
Yeah.
except for the tie.
For a movie with a lot of blood, I feel like white's a bad color.
Yeah.
He stabs this kid and then it's like he shakes it off. It's like, ooh, that's pretty nice. Immediately puts on this Colonel Sanders ass suit, hops in a van with his cohorts and
How many
fucks
secret
off,
herbs
right?
and spices are in that
He
child?
took off his robes and just threw them on the ground. And
Yeah.
Jack had commented, like, if you're gonna throw away your robes every time you sacrifice a kid, you're gonna need more robes, man.
He's just got like a Batman style
They've
closet.
got a
of
conveyor-
this fucking same thing.
It's like Doug's closet. It's just the same outfit.
What to wear today? What
They've got
to
like
wear?
a queue, like a conveyor belt of children later.
Oh, that's later
Imagine
on
the
in the
tailor.
movie, there is a conveyor belt of children.
Yeah, it sure
That's
is.
really funny.
An assembly line.
Speaking of a conveyor belt of children, we then meet Father O'Sullivan.
That is probably the best segue you've done.
Also played by a guy named Tim Sullivan. Because everybody's last name in this movie is their last name in real life.
Okay, so we're not getting clever.
No. Like the guy that played Frost is that guy Gregory Frost that they talked to.
This movie is creative, not clever.
Yeah, you know what? They went behind the scenes. They talk about that. Even the main guy, he's like, we're all a bunch of intellects. I don't know if you know actors, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
Shots fired, Hollywood.
Yeah.
You dumb
Actors,
rich
you
idiots.
stupid fucks.
Well,
Dumb
this priest
millionaires.
breaks ankles for the Lord.
Dude, he is schooling some kids in this yard ball.
Yeah, so you mentioned the intellects. Most of the actors in this movie apparently were science fiction writers, or probably are.
Yeah.
You gotta
Almost
keep doing
every
that.
single one that wasn't a child was a
Yeah.
science fiction author.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. Like, I think that the couple with crystals
Well, they
were the
fucking
only
weren't
ones that were
actors.
actors, or sorry, finger quote actors.
Actors.
Yeah.
One of them is from L.A. Counts.
Oh man. So anyway, we're back to this priest putting the moves on a kid, but on the court.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
balling up in a Tucson schoolyard. The convent is going wild.
After there's like a 35-second shot of this kid drinking water, I'm like, yo.
I want to see a bunch of nuns.
You
do
You know
the
where they
wave.
are? They got to hydrate. That's how I knew this was actually shot on location.
That wasn't planned. The kid just wouldn't get away.
Yeah.
He's like, I am fucking thirsty. All right, move away now. No, I am not done getting water.
Well, the thing is, the directors aren't professionals, so they're like, okay, action. And the kid starts drinking water, and they just never said cut. And he's just like, am I still drinking water?
I've got to pee again.
There's a couple of shots in this movie. You could probably still hear the fucking clack of the clapper going off in the
Uh-huh.
distance.
By the way, I did say it was directed by SP Somtow, but
also it wasn't.
he said there was a woman who was credited as the directorial advisor, but she was a DGA employee, and this is not a union picture, surprise. So she was directing, but she couldn't direct officially. But then she got like mafia scared off by the DGA at some point.
I mean, how do we know she's not dead?
Yeah.
How do we know?
You know,
I didn't fucking look.
I didn't check it.
No, I checked a lot of bullshit on this movie too. Like
She wasn't in the special features. That's all I'm saying. And then he said the producer directed some, the AD obviously directed some. That's what ADs do. And he said even the transportation captain directed some.
oh yeah, I've got that guy's name in here. He fucking rules.
Ron
motherfucking Ford.
Ron
we will hear
Ford.
about him later.
The guy with no neck.
Coming
looked
out
like a
looking like
baller.
Ron Candy.
And a fucking Godzilla ugly sweater. Let's go.
That wasn't even an ugly sweater, my friend. That was a casino-style Godzilla shirt. The balls you have to pull off a Godzilla casino shirt.
He's going out to Margaritaville, but he doesn't have anything to fit. So he's like, well, I got this Godzilla shirt. So.
So yeah, we've gotten one scene into the movie and immediately derailed onto the specifics
It's
because that is the tone of this movie itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was directed by at least 4 different people, some of them being tenuous in the field to begin with, but it ultimately got credited to Somtow.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to take any chance I can to talk about a Godzilla casino-style shirt.
Yeah, let's go.
I do love. So then we also see these fucking hippies / yuppies. I can't tell exactly.
New
what they're
age
supposed to be.
Yes,
folks.
the new waves.
They get called New Age types multiple
Yeah.
times.
And they're like just.
Are they on the bus yet?
No, they're meditating
This is
in
when they're
front
just
of
meditating,
downtown.
and I just had to talk about it because they're like. She says something about how she can't do this in the middle of nowhere. First of all, that's what you people do.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "This isn't the middle of nowhere. It's downtown Tucson."
She's
I'm
like compared to Reno or whatever.
Encino.
Encino.
Yeah,
I'm like, really?
Encino.
You're
Yeah.
saying that Encino is better than downtown Tucson? Downtown Tucson ain't great.
I'm not defending downtown Tucson, but I am attacking Encino.
And all of their cavemen.
All their
But yeah, they're doing those
self-digging pool types.
Yeah.
Well, and after they argue, they start the guy starts like humming louder than her, and
Yeah.
then she hums back.
She's screaming.
She lands
She's
on this fucking like.
Are you okay?
So we got new wave. We got new wave practicing tarot reading crystal motherfuckers.
Oh, and he does have the comment, well, we could afford to go on that other trip if we didn't buy a second Volvo.
And they're only 3 hours early because he channeled the wrong tarot deck,
right.
or
He's like,
something.
I miscalculated the fucking route or whatever. She's like, you read from the wrong deck.
How are you navigating with tarot cards? I'm not saying they have no power. I'm just saying, come on.
Literal navigation. Yeah.
Pulls
Turn
out the
left.
card. I don't know. It's a joker. What does that mean? Do I turn left or right?
This says
They have
death.
jokers? I don't know how tarot cards work.
This says death. I don't feel good about that.
Do I turn left? Death. No, I don't turn left.
No, you do not.
Pull in at the 9 of Swords.
The 9 of Cups says to stop here.
Woohoo.
Thanks to the 9 of Cucks. I'm sorry. Different tarot
Last
deck.
That's a different tarot card
My
altogether.
true
That I
love
want
came
to
to me.
Into.
9 cuck chairs.
Oh, so then we go back to the priest who's having a dream about banging a nun in a confessional while the director and his sexy cohort listen outside, and she strips against the confessional ?
Oh yeah, it's a type of voyeurism. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it was a weird dream. I mean, I've had it, but it's a weird dream.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's not weird. But as he's sleeping, we also have newspaper clippings all over his desk talking about a pregnant nun, mystery virgin birth.
And then this girl whose name I didn't catch.
Lucy.
Lori.
Oh,
Okay.
so close.
Yeah, it's an L.
Yeah.
She's like peeking at the articles because he's like, I don't want anyone to know I knocked this lady up, but let me just read these articles like 11 years later.
And
She fucking dishes it to him, dude.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
She's like,
Lori's-
you got secrets. You can dish it, but you can't take it. Fucking let me in on the chisme. Like,
Was
Go
a
fuck
one-way
yourself.
confessional booth? Come on, both ways, brother, both ways. And she is ranging anywhere in age from 10 to 40.
Yes.
It's very hard to tell.
Because they have her dressed like a young girl, but she doesn't have the makeup and hair of a young girl.
And I don't know if
I
it's
don't
just
know.
her delivery, but sometimes she's talking and it seems like she's hitting on everyone. But she
Yeah.
does say later, which I don't know how they showed this, that she has a crush on the priest.
Crush on Sullivan. Yeah.
She has a crush on the priest. And I was like, really? I just thought that she was looking at him like I don't know, father figure.
I guess because she's stowed away on his bus, and that's how she showed she has a crush. I don't know.
Oh man, I've never
At
showed
this
anyone
point,
that.
they are on the bus though, because she
They're
looks
getting to
over
the bus. Yeah, we also they get to the bus. We have the other two guys,
Dossier? I want to. It's not Dossier.
Devois and
Frost.
who is like Devois, which these names should be switched by the way, but Devois is like the loudmouth redneck gambler. I don't know what he
giant
is.
dude in a yellow suit.
He's headed to Laughlin with that outfit.
Frost is an intellectual archaeologist of some sort.
Beautiful
maybe.
cane. I feel like they wanted to have these guys be like a gay couple, and they're like, not 89.
Yeah,
Because it would have been fucking
this
great.
guy
They bicker like that. It's fucking.
Devois makes sure you know he's not gay.
Oh yeah.
Because he wants to go to Mexico for those Mexican ruins, Mexican women, and to drink those Mexican beers.
Woo! And he definitely does the Office Space. Hey Peter, Channel 9, Mexican Mamacitas are on.
Which is baffling though, because like you went to Mexico for the Mexican mamacitas.
Uh-huh.
So you sat in your hotel room and watched Mexican movies. You know you can
I get
do
it.
that at home. Like they have, you can get Telemundo, man.
Yeah. Just watch the Weather Channel or some educational program.
Dubois bumps into the new wave couple and fucks with them, and then pisses off the girlfriend, wife, or whatever. She's
Yeah.
got some choice lines.
What she
So
got?
she's like, "Oh, he's got his own karma to follow. It's not his fault. He was reincarnated as a dweeb."
Oh,
Yeah, I have that line down.
those
And then-
sting.
What?
Burn.
Dude's like, "Oh, you know what messes with my hormonal balance when you get aggressive? Fuck your
Oh, we're
hormonal
talking about
balance."
the dude that he looked like Stewart from Mad TV.
Yeah.
Look what I can do.
And she kind of looks like
Kathy
if
Griffin.
Kathy Griffin wasn't so annoying.
Uh-huh.
And
Like
this
still
girl's annoying.
some
Like,
annoyance.
this girl's
but less.
annoying and she's less annoying than Kathy Griffin.
Agreed.
But they're going to Mexico for an archaeological tour ? That also involves going to the festival of the Laughing Dead. He said it.
Ooh. Yeah, they said it pretty
Dia
quick
de
too.
los laughing muertos.
Dia de los Chuckle Chuckle.
It's the unofficial name. So they call it in the States.
And the line that I said at the beginning there, the priest gives us that journey into the dark heart of the human psyche while he stares directly into your fucking soul.
Uh-huh. Luckily I don't have one. Tried to get me. I played an Uno reverse card.
I don't understand. He gives the speech about what they're going to do,
Yeah.
where they're going,
What
all
they're
this
gonna
stuff.
see.
And then they pick up their final passengers.
Yeah, so being that we're from Tucson, we understand that you don't leave town, drive down this type of road that's like a
Yeah.
highway out of town to get back into Tucson.
Yeah, they're driving down a desert road that has mailboxes along the side, and then they're like downtown again.
That's probably like fucking out in Salrita.
Yeah.
When he's preparing them to land in Mexico, he's like, they're like getting ready to cross the border or whatever. And he's like, "You guys might see some weird shit out here. Okay, people have lunch at the graves of their ancestors.
It's pretty
They're
weird.
obsessed with blood. Yeah, it's like, oh, what? They've got family ties.
It's the strangest thing ever. They care about
They
their
do
dead
their
ones.
dishes here.
You're going to see, this is 1989, right? So his real speech should have been, you're going to see some strange stuff. People wrap their food in bread. It's strange.
They have
They put spicy things on everything.
I'm going to tell you something I
I
learned the
was
hard
like-
way. When you have a tamale, you don't eat the outside, folks, okay? That's not just a crunchy little outside.
These tamales are awful.
That's a true story I know about somebody from Jersey who took a bite and he's like, I don't know why you guys fucking like this. They're awful. All of us looked at him like just unwrapped our tamales
You
slowly.
get to take the little panties off. Like,
Yeah, you don't do oral sex
you
with
dirty
underwear
little
on.
thing, you.
But the last people they pick up are Tessie and Ivan. And
Ivan the
Tessie-
Terrible.
Yes, Tessie is the former nun mom, and like he didn't know, even though this is his trip, that they were involved.
She used a fake name.
I guess he doesn't know who Tessie is
Yeah.
because he calls her Marie
Sister
Teresa,
sister
or
something.
yeah.
Sure. But, she's got a bad habit.
But like I love it. He sees her and he's like, Jesus, and I'm like, you're a priest.
We come soon to find out, though, he doesn't really have his faith, or he doesn't know.
Yeah,
He doesn't know.
he's an agnostic.
He
priest.
tries to
agnostic
commune during
priest.
an exorcist by going, "Jesus, I don't know if I believe in you, but
When he said that, I was
He's
like, that is
but
the
I need my faith back."
that is the best way to start a prayer.
Yeah.
God, I don't know if you exist, but if you do, I think I'd like $1 million.
You're going out, you're at a bar, you see a girl, you like her, so you want to go talk to her. You walk up and you're like, I don't know if I find you attractive, but I think you should go home with me.
That might actually work on
You
the
know
wrong
what?
person.
Yeah, that would work on a terrible relationship.
Yeah. Ooh, let me know.
Ivan the Terrible was supposedly based on the actual kid who played him. He was just some
really?
foul-mouthed kid who.
Oh,
hung
that's
around
right. He
set.
said that. He said this kid had a foul mouth anyway. This kid is fucking hilarious.
Every
because
time he
kids
curses.
cussing is funny.
Yes.
But this kid cussing,
This
is
delivery
fucking
is
hilarious.
practiced.
Yes.
When they first pick him up, he's like,
Summer's
a
ruined.
guy in a skirt? What kind of fucking ride is this? Or tour is this?
And even before that, he gets a good one. He's like, Mom, you've ruined my whole fucking summer. Or sorry, he didn't curse there. He goes, I had Lakers season fucking tickets.
Whole allowance.
Like a whole allowance, you dumb bitch.
You had Lakers season tickets. You know you live in Tucson.
Yeah.
You got to also get there.
Maybe this is supposed to not be Tucson.
they lived
but-
outside of
Well,
Tucson.
they said-
no,
they say-
dude, they were outside on the way. That was like Benson.
But the dude
Or
even,
Erevato
the
Even
priest
worse
says-
to have
I
Lakers
know.
tickets.
The
Even
priest
worse.
says earlier that this church that they're at in the middle of the desert is at First and Oracle, which I lived
shit.
at and is not this church.
They just like the name Oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits very well.
Yeah, I was like, First and Oracle, there's a Fry's there.
But yeah, dude, this
That's
kid,
like church.
this kid's delivering eat shit and lives left and right.
Oh, yeah. And normally I hate a kid actor, but this one's just ripping curse words and making me laugh.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna hate you right
one
back.
of my
Yeah,
one
yes,
of the
he will. Maybe that's why I like him. I respect the game.
one of my favorite lines in any movie ever is when this kid says motherfucker later in this movie. Because a kid, fuck, shit, sure, we've heard it.
Yeah.
How often do you hear a kid yell motherfucker though?
In my house,
In the movies.
I was gonna say in my house 0 because I don't have any kids.
Oh, good.
I'd be very confused if I heard a kid yell motherfucker.
Motherfucker, is that a ghost?
The
hell?
spirits.
I'm haunted by the coolest ghost ever.
It's the ghost of Ethan Embry. He's not.
That'd
dead.
be all right.
But then the fat guy we were talking about, Duvois or whatever, I already forgot. This dude's eating jelly beans that Ivan's dropping like off the bus floor.
Yeah.
And it's fucking disgusting. Like you watch him picking up these jelly beans, and I'm like, you see that floor?
Even
That's worse than
before-
a movie theater
Yeah,
floor.
even before COVID, this is just a disgusting way of life. Floor beans.
Well, he was asking the kid for jelly beans. He wouldn't give him any. So.
I think he's drinking because he Hasselhoffs these beans.
Oh yeah, he's on the ground of the floor of this bus just munching
You're
beans.
a piece of shit. I love these jelly beans. Piece of shit.
And now the father of O. Sullivan, they had to add an O.
Right.
That's how they got creative. Is talking to Tess, and he's telling her like, oh, you've had the same dreams I've had
Such
about this
dark
guy watching us
shit.
fuck, and like, and they're getting scarier and scarier.
You know what I saw when I called out for God? I saw a glass knife in a dark sky, a headless torso spinning in a starry void.
When is this guy
Just
starting
like,
a
what
metal
the
band?
fuck, buddy?
Yeah, like that is some fucking epic lyrics, dude.
I'm like,
Just
that
not from
sounds
a
an
priest.
awful lot like the Old Testament God to me. I don't know.
Some Pillars of Salt type shit. Damn. By the way, the priest, Father O'Sullivan, very Irish. Is Ezekiel a pretty heavy Irish name? Because that's his first name.
Sure.
They
No,
did
he's
say
Zeke,
that.
dude.
Yeah,
Zeke the
Zeke.
freak.
Yeah, but
Zeke the
he
freak
says
gets-
it at one
he
point.
fucks.
I'm like, Ezekiel O'Sullivan? That's not right.
He had, his parents were very open. They met people outside of their culture, which wasn't okay back then, in the 60s in Europe. I don't know. I don't know where
Methuselah McDormand.
And
my
boom,
name.
we run over something.
Yes, Otto the bus driver.
You know what it
gets
probably
very
was?
upset.
It was probably one of them armadillos.
It might have been an
damn.
armadillo.
People can't say the O in the armadillo. It's armadillo.
He didn't even give us an He gave us an armadillo.
Oh man,
yeah,
so
dude,
he
he's
passed
got a coyote,
Texas.
bobcat, or a big old armadillo.
Big old armadillo.
Well, you know what it wasn't? It wasn't an armadillo. It was a dead kid in a towel.
Yeah. And
Second dead kid in a towel. Wah, wah.
Is it the same dead girl or a different dead
I
girl?
think it's
no,
the
it was the
same-
same one.
Okay.
I forgot. It's also Somtow's niece.
Is
Oh,
it?
shit.
Yeah,
okay.
both times it's her niece.
Hey,
and
I
I guess
need to
she was
borrow
fucking
your kid for a little
hyped
bit.
about being a part of this.
I would, dude. If my uncle
Yeah.
made movies, what do you think she is? 8 years old, 10 years old?
Mm-hmm.
If I had an uncle at that point making movies, I'd be like, well, I'll play any dead body you want, dude. You want
wanna
to juice me? You want to juice me for blood? You can juice me for blood.
You want to run me over with a bus?
I could be in your movie.
So it's the sacrifice girl, and then they look off to the side, and there's the Mayan guys with like light behind them and like, all the things. And so
Fog
the
machines
priest
galore,
is trying
baby.
to speak Spanish to them.
He's got
Holy
better-
shit, it's the worst.
But
you know
here's the
what?
thing, though.
His
His
del-
Spanish delivery is better than his fucking English acting.
Oh my god, we haven't talked about it. His acting in this movie, every line is just delivered like okay, The line I said earlier, right? It's delivered like this: a journey into the dark heart of the human psyche.
Yeah, how you read the glass knife coming down was 3 times more energy than he ever put on it.
Yeah, I know. I was typing in my notes. I was like, this is sick.
Can I borrow this? I might just copy and paste this.
Do you think anyone would
there's
notice?
a couple of bits in this movie that I want to put before breakdowns 100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this priest is putting nothing on anything. Hey, look out. It's headed right for us.
But then when he does speak Spanish, he's got like inflection.
I'm not saying his
not good
Spanish is good.
But he's got
I'm saying his
inflection.
English is bad.
And then the new age dude is like, you ever thought about putting condos here? Man,
You've got land. We want it.
It's the 80s, condos.
Can we quit taking land from people like this?
And then the girl just goes up, me want. And they just shut her right the fuck down.
Yeah. And just, you think that's enough insults, but then the guy tips maybe $10.
Oh, yeah, because they do this chant and it brings the dead girl back to life and she walks away. And it's in the background, so you don't really see it, but you just see the body sit up. And I was like, somebody turn around. That girl's coming for you.
So 2 things. The chanting there. Somtow apparently is a well-studied person. He wrote the script for this sequence specifically for the chanting. He wrote literal, just like nonsensical bullshit on it, and in hindsight is like, "Oh, I actually know these languages. I should have done something." But anyway,
Oh man.
He told them nondescript chanting or whatever. They read directly off the page this bullshit that he typed up. The girl getting up.
Yes.
Those are somebody's back legs.
Oh, really?
There was something
kicking
about
their
the
legs
little
up?
girl being unable for that, so somebody laid on their stomach and fucking put their back legs up.
That's dope.
And she leaves, and that's when the dude is like, oh, this is all part of a show. Here's some cash. And I love it because this dude breaks his like scary Mayan priest character, and he's just like, yo, thanks.
Yo.
Like, he's not going to not take that. Like, I was expecting like the stone face, like, I'm not taking that
Your
cash.
money means
and he
nothing
like
to me.
stuffs it
Yeah.
in his fucking ceremonial dress or whatever.
His tunic.
But no, this dude's just like, all right.
Fuck yeah. That's beers to the bar later, pal.
You just handed me 20 American, bro. You know how many beers this is going to get me and my friends?
But then they do say they have to go find the body, so it makes me wonder, like, why'd you raise it in the first place? You're making work for yourself.
They were trying to spook the white people.
For
All right.
sure.
And it had the adverse effect.
Yeah, because nobody actually turned around and saw it. Lori has a dream about her dad who is sick and dying, so she bailed on
And
him.
apparently he's about to rob a bank with Patrick Swayze.
He's also
got this
E.T..
Richard Nixon mask
It looks like a
on.
Richard Nixon mask, dude. Like, I thought this guy was just ready for surfing and bank
And
robbing.
I told them right away, I was like, okay, they have this makeup on this guy. It's supposed to be old man makeup, but it's not. Richard Nixon's old, but like, it's just terrible. And I was like, oh, it's some shitty makeup because he's going to rip it off. He's going to like peel his own face off at some point. And he didn't get
as
it.
soon as you said that, I was waiting for it the whole fucking
Yeah.
movie. And I got some stuff.
Oh, there's some stuff.
We got some treats, man.
But yeah, so they there's that dream, and then the ex-nun is having a dream about when she was having her kid, and Somtow is there, and he's like, we have to give her a ceremonial cesarean. But did you have subtitles on, Serj?
Fuck no.
I watch movies with subtitles because I'm old and deaf. I was gonna say bald. I'm not bald.
I'm usually eating.
But it said, we have to give her, and then it said indistinguishable. I'm like, he clearly said the word cesarean.
Oh,
Like,
there's a couple times the person.
Indistinguishable.
Yeah, there's a couple times the person doing the subtitles is like, I'm not.
That's
I'm
an
not.
appropriate amount of effort put into this.
I'm not doing
this
that today.
18-year-old that they this 18-year-old intern they had doing the subtitles is like, what the fuck's cesarean?
I don't want to be the hardest working person on this movie being the subtitle guy, okay?
And then the kid gets mad because mom's screaming in her sleep and he's cussing some more. It's all your fucking fault, preacher man. You're a reminder of the bad old days when she was a fucking nun. And he says the bad old days more than once.
Yeah, the way back when.
I'm like, you are like 8. What old days do you know?
When he was 4 was really rough, dude. Somebody stole his blocks.
So then we arrive at Old Tucson Studios, which is Mexico, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Not
like
just
that.
in this movie.
But if you haven't seen Mexico, this is probably what you think.
If you haven't seen Three Amigos,
Yeah. This is
We're
the tiny town
closer
of
to
Santa
Mexico
Poco.
than we are the nearest American state
Wow, that's pretty fun.
on
true.
all ends. I think we're Mexico.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, like he said, this is what people think of when they think of Mexico, and it's because all those old westerns were shot here or Italy, but they didn't have saguaros. So.
It's fucking what a juxtaposition. You're like, westerns are either shot in Tucson or Italy.
You could tell when they switched in those westerns when the saguaros disappeared. So they get to now they're in the town, and the priest is talking to the innkeeper, I think, the head of ?
And I see the I don't know if you caught it at all, but the Mayans that weren't dressed up now are wearing guayaberas and acting as bellhops just in the background.
Yeah, he pointed that out. I missed it.
The creepy lady that welcomes into town.
Oh man.
Somtow's got a little bit of history with her.
Oh yeah?
So the new wave couple are based slightly on this experience that it's based on this experience that he's got. He was all hard up for cash. They're young as shit when they're making this movie.
Okay.
But like when he was even younger than this, he was hard up for cash and struggling to pay rent. And he knew this woman who taught him to read tarot for rich people in Bel Air. And then he hired her for this movie.
What
and that's her.
What
So
a fucking
here's how
thing.
you bullshit white people. See?
I taught Miss Cleo, I can teach you.
And he does mention like, oh, the town is destroyed, and they just show Old Tucson Studios, and it's like, oh,
As it
'cause
currently
the old-
is.
It looks terrible. What happened here?
Dude,
Time.
on the behind the scenes documentary, they're like, oh, we had beautiful locations, and the shot they chose for that
this,
moment is this shot of the town where he's like, this is a piece of shit.
Shingles are missing, railings off. It's a beautiful location. Crickets.
But yeah, it's because the old religion is back.
Uh-huh.
The Mayans are
We
back.
blame the old religion.
Yeah.
I've had a lot more problems with the new religion, be honest with you.
Yeah, and the bad religion.
I think beautiful is a substitute word for cheap and free.
That's a good.
Yeah,
you know what?
Let's hope people not only from this town listen to this podcast episode. What is Old Tucson?
Ooh, Old Tucson, the pseudo film set.
It was a film studio.
It's like what, an
Yeah.
hour and a half from here? Not even. It's like,
Not even,
No, it's way
yeah.
closer than that.
Like,
actually, it's
from
reopened
here,
now.
It's about an
Day
hour.
trip. Yeah.
But Old Tucson Studios is a place of a lot of westerns, and like we mentioned, Three Amigos. I mean, you got a lot of history there, and now it's kind of because we don't do movies in Tucson anymore. Now it's just a half-assed amusement location.
We use it for Halloween,
We
baby.
use it for Halloween, man. We
Yeah.
got Nightfall.
I mean, it's open all year, but no one goes there except during Nightfall.
The whole time we're watching this, Derek and I are just like, why don't we fucking make movies here anymore?
So yeah, that's
Yeah, it
Old
makes
Tucson
no
for anybody
sense.
who's not from
Yeah, it was
current
a
Tucson.
film studio. It had
Soon
a
to
bunch
be
of,
Old Tucson.
There was a big fire that destroyed a bunch of old film reels, which is depressing.
Yeah.
To someone like me, but even though they're not movies I would have watched, it's still sad.
It's still
yeah,
it's
and
still
Lil
cinema.
Peep died right outside the rocks, so we can go ahead and keep the bummy. the not fun facts going for this town. Everybody visit Tucson.
When you're driving in, it smells like a sewer.
Ooh, and driving out.
And driving out. But we talked about that on the Postman.
Yeah, we
'Cause
did.
That's where the mines are. They're the strip mine. Yeah, good times. So anyway, this guy feeds a kid to some old gods.
Ooh, it smells like farts. We're gonna call it Tucson. Go on.
But yeah, so Somtow is feeding some more children. Or no, it's the two sidekicks. They like find a kid eating a sugar skull in the strangest way I've ever seen, and they like
I know what
approach
happened
him.
here.
And then they go to him, and they go to Somtow, and he's like, "Are the old gods fed? Or the gods fed?" And they go back and show the sugar skull covered in blood and dripping, and they're like, "Yep, we did it." I'm like, "You're right in the middle of this town. You just stabbed this kid."
Oh, yeah.
All right, got it.
I know what happened here. The first take they did, that kid ate the fuck out of that sugar skull. I mean, as someone that loves sugar, I would have gone to town on this thing.
He just like crunched. They're like,
He's
"No,
like,
you need to
whoa,
lick
whoa,
it, dude."
we didn't get a chance, dude. So take two. He's like, lick it slowly. Make it last, buddy.
We only get 2 takes.
We're out of sugar skulls.
And then things kind of just erupt into Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a fuck ton of people there.
There's a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
new town here. Like,
a little bit
where were you?
suspect to how maybe this movie might have gotten all of those people there.
Somehow did mention, or was it the producer? Either way, someone mentioned that it was just a lot of locals and stuntmen.
They did a raffle.
Did they?
Yeah, they had people show up, and they're specifically from the Yaqui tribe.
Okay.
But yeah, he had a rap. Somebody on crew got the idea, like, we do this. So people showed up, they partied, they had a good time on
Fuck
camera
yeah.
for multiple hours at a time. And I like literally a busload of people from the tribe showed up.
Nice.
All in their makeup. And
Hey.
then Yeah, they like raffled off a TV one night. They needed to do it a second night. They raffled off another like a fucking bookshelf or something. But ultimately, everybody
like, oh,
came
shit,
and partied.
we
It's a great
busted
way to do it though, because the festival part looks great.
It's
Everyone
genuine.
is having
Everybody
fun.
is having a good time. Yeah, absolutely.
The production's like, fuck, we busted our nut with the TV.
Dude,
We
I
need a
got-
second night.
I got people into
Yeah,
our
roller
zombie
skates.
movie by offering them pizza and beer. That's kind of the same
I'm there.
thing.
I was trying to make some movies when I was younger, and I was like, I'll buy you guys drinks. And they got there, and they're like, where are the drinks? I was like, well, we have to make the movie first.
Oh, no. I've learned from experience. No drinks first.
yeah, no.
No drinks during.
Weed first.
Weed
drinks after.
during and after and before.
But the little kid, this is the beginning of the 90s, right? Because it's 89. The little kid is yelling at his mom at some point, talking about how he's bored shitless. And he's like, it's going to be your fault that I'm an asshole or whatever because you forgot my Ritalin. And
First
I'm like,
time
oh, yay,
in
drugs.
history someone's been threatened with ADD.
I will ADD the fuck out of you, Mom.
We don't have ADHD yet. It's just ADD. And it's coming hard at your mom.
And then, aside from the gore and stuff, my absolute favorite scene of this movie happens when we go into Somtow in his office.
This is the best scene of almost any movie.
We watched this scene
He's
three
playing
times.
the fuck out of that piano.
Oh no, I forgot the piano. I'm talking about when he's clickety clacking.
When he plays the fuck out of that keyboard to get into his computer.
Yeah, he's
there
like,
is no,
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's got the fucking Muppet fingers.
dude, this guy.
there has
this
never
guy-
been better typing on camera than what this guy does.
Somtow is a composer, so when he was playing
Yeah.
the piano, he was really playing it. He's typing on this keyboard, and it's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, you play the piano, just piano this keyboard, man. He's just tick 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 tick, like the keyboard is bouncing.
There's no words that are what you just typed. There's no like what
got
your
four
what your
fingers at the
fingers
same
did
time.
does not make a word, sir.
Pulls down sunglasses. I'm in.
And like apparently that was his password because then he just looks at a
What's
red
your-
moon.
What's your
I think it's
password?
I think it's Mars.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious flibbertigibbet at capital 14.
Oh, you didn't have to do that yet.
Oh damn it!
You
Okay.
didn't need the symbols.
But dude, yeah, and then so he does finally crack this code. Apparently, he's hacking, and it just shows Mars. It's
Yeah,
just
I
Mars.
guess
it's
it's
the red, the red,
Mars.
the red star, the blood star,
blood star.
the blood star
Yeah.
rising.
Oh, and then he starts going through his drawers to look for something and pulls out a severed head, which is fun. He has a bowl full of red jelly beans.
But in front of those red jelly beans, don't touch them because he has pencils sharpened and pointed up like a
Yeah.
fortress in
a
Braveheart.
sacrifice pit of fucking number 2 pencils.
You're expecting John Cleese to come from the other side. I told them we already got one. It's a rampart, man.
But yeah, we watched the clickety clack, rewound it and watched it, and then Whitney had left to take the kid to work, and she came back, and I was like, "Come here!" And I rewound it again.
And I had no qualms with watching it for a third fucking time, dude. He's got these big, gorgeous, gaudy emerald rings, too, so the clickety-clack is even more pronounced than just normal.
Yeah.
Whether we end up recommending this or not, go watch
Yeah, that man's
part.
typing
Like-
with his forearms.
Oh, yeah. You're going to tire yourself out pretty quick like that.
And then there's like some Halloween decorations hidden behind a locked door because this is Scream, the exact same Scream happening over and over. It's like those skeletons you walk past that scream at you.
It's a haunted ride at Pima County Fair or whatever your fair is. Like, it's one of those shit thrown together ones.
Got it. Never mind. It's because of Nightfall.
Yeah.
It's just
Nightfall.
leftover decorations from Nightfall at Old Tucson Studios.
I just want like the people staying at this hotel. Like, what was all that screaming last night? That is the Mexican screaming bush, native to these lands. That's nothing. Are you not familiar with the Mexican screaming bush? Interesting.
Makes a delicious salad.
It's closely related to the singing bush, not far from
Have you
here.
guys prepared your Tucson mating vests?
Ooh, what is that?
I'll
Do I-
have to let you in. It's a special Tucson old thing. Put on your mating vest. Go hit the clubs.
Ooh, let's do it.
Hitch up the horse.
We're gonna hit up the Cactus Moon, aren't we?
That doesn't
No, the
exist.
9 of cups.
And we have like the girl Lori who just really doesn't need to be here.
Oh,
but
it's
she has some
daytime
really
and they're
funny
having
lines.
lunch at a fucking old like outdoor spot.
Yeah, and this other dude comes up to her who's also basically useless except for apparently he knows magical chants.
What do you mean useless? He becomes a god.
Well, anybody could do
Don't they
that.
all just a little bit?
If somebody asks you if you're whatever the Cuckoo Clan,
Cuckoo
Ku Klux Klan,
Cuckoo Clan.
this guy's name was, you say yes.
You say yes.
He walks up and speaks to Lori, and she says, "Oh, thank goodness. You're the only person here who doesn't look like a Fellini extra."
Can somebody
Yeah.
explain this joke to me?
So I'm not so Fellini, Italian director. I don't know if she's just saying because everybody
That
who's
was
Mexican
the people
looks like
who
Italians?
wrote this movie trying and failing to flex their, they were
Trying to
they were like, we know stuff
they were
about
letting their
movies.
writer brains speak through their
Gotcha.
character.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
so are they just saying that all these Mexicans look like
cl-
Italians?
I mean, he did what was it, Clowns? Yeah, Fellini did Clowns. So I think that's
okay.
normally what I feel like is referred to.
So I think Lori's in this movie because we said like 4 directors. We know from the special features that the girl that got mafia'd out, she wanted to be more of a family movie.
Okay, cool. I was trying to figure out if that was the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
One of these directors wanted Lori to be with either this guy or the priest.
Okay.
Like there's because you're right, she doesn't need to be in this.
no.
And she's fine, she's competent.
This guy sits down to talk to her though, and she just immediately
Emotional dump.
she's like, "Oh, I'm glad to see you. Let's talk. By the way, my dad is dying, and I left him, and I love a priest, and and I'm a jinx." And he's like,
My dad's blood is sick, and I want to bone this priest.
Dude, she drops like 5 big ones on him.
and it doesn't follow up with, "You know what? I'll go get you a drink," and he disappears, which is what would happen in real life.
Absolutely.
It follows up with, "You want to talk about it?"
No shit.
So he's a predator. He's like, "Oh, I smell weakness."
There's a kink in the chain.
Uh-huh.
A few of them.
Uh-huh. I found the weak link. Do you want to talk about this? I think I just did.
So yeah, we said fuck that guy earlier, right? And then we got deflected with he becomes a god later.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all right. We all make up for.
But everybody becomes a god eventually.
Is that true?
I don't know. That's what the Mormons
Hell
think,
yeah,
right?
man.
You get your own planet.
I'm not wearing those special underwear.
And now is he
No
playing the
soaking.
shit out of that piano?
He plays it a couple times.
He plays it a couple times. I think this is the second time, yes, because the priest gets recruited to do an exorcism because all priests can do exorcism. You don't just have to be Max von Sydow.
I need an
he
old
walks
priest
in on
and a
him
young
playing the
priest.
fuck out of that piano. I know that look. I've seen my roommate who played piano and went to school for composition. I've seen that face on him before too. He is ripping that fucking piano.
The fart face.
Yeah.
Does your
It's
roommate
stanky.
sacrifice children?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So it's a piano thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Is your
That's the
roommate's
common
name
thread.
Umsek? You might be living with the god of death.
Dustin Umsek, maybe backward. I don't know. I'm not going to put the work into that. And then O'Sullivan gets called in.
Yeah, and he's going in because so it's Umsek and this other Mexican lady, and it's their daughter? Question mark.
Who is possessed?
It's not, but I mean, it's supposed to be their daughter.
Who is possessed and screaming on a looping track.
Yeah.
She was possessed
in the
with
next
Tourette
room.
syndrome.
This
Yes.
is the first time that he tells O'Sullivan his name. O'Sullivan, I know some of them are on this trip as like they're studied and looking to study or they are
Yeah,
Well, they're
archaeologists,
archaeologists.
geologists.
yeah, but he's not, right? Like he doesn't.
No, but he knows an
Amateur
awful lot
history.
about
okay,
Mayan
so
culture.
Somtow
Amateur
turns around. He's
historian.
like, my name is Umsek," and he immediately Sullivan like raises his pointy little finger.
Everyone
wags
knows.
it around and is like, not today, Satan. Like, I'll have you know that I know that Umsek is the Mayan name for the god of the
But he
devil.
said it in a way-
literally
he's like-
says every archaeologist knows.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're not an archaeologist, but yes, he does basically like clap
Is-
back at this dude.
is
He's
an
like, Umsek is
archaeologist-
the god of death.
Every Tom, Dick, and
Is
Harry
an
knows that.
archaeologist like the white belt to the priesthood's black belt.
Right?
Just
You
like
have to
one
be an
rung.
archaeologist and then a priest. The people who wrote this movie did watch The Exorcist, right? Because I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Max
Oh,
von Sydow
yeah.
was an archaeologist / priest.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, he says that she just has Tourette's syndrome. I'm like, I don't think blood comes out of your eyes when you have Tourette's syndrome.
I got some friends with Tourette's
Dude,
and I've never seen
He
it.
was like he turns it off and it makes you shit all fucky.
Yeah.
he was like, and that's what's happening. Look at her, she's all fucky.
Oh, and this is where we get the, hey, dear God, it's me, O'Sullivan.
I don't know if
I don't know if I believe in you,
but
I can sure use a miracle right about now.
for
I mean,
me,
this
he
is
makes
the-
it super clear. He's like, for me.
Not
This
for
is the
poor
ending
girl.
of like a Disney fucking sports movie. Dear God, we haven't talked in a while, but if you could see it in your infinite wisdom to let me hit this home run for little Jimmy in the hospital, I sure think it would make a great
Oh,
day.
man. The eye contact.
Then the bloody possessed girl sits up, and suddenly she's not bloody, and she's very beautiful.
She's sexified.
Yeah, the girl's beautiful, and she gets up and busts out her titties. which is right on the cover of my copy of the Blu-ray.
Oh, you got the good one.
I love.
We got the reversible one, didn't we?
Well, Vinegar Syndrome has the greatest. Like, they have these great covers for really terrible movies, so you buy them anyway. But like the cover on the outside of the slipcover and the cover on the inside of the slipcover are almost the same art, but the inside has the boobs covered up. The slipcover has them revealed. I'm like, shouldn't it be the other way around?
It definitely should be. That's like
guess-
wrapping a brown paper bag in porn.
It's like taking the sheet off a tamale.
It's like putting a tamale around the sheet.
I guess their thing is like the slipcovers are limited. So they're like, you want the boobies, you better buy it early. I don't know.
Yeah. Or they know it's going to get some people to buy it. Like, oh, this looks like, ooh, tits.
Yeah.
Somtow calls himself a doctor of divinity.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Right
he sure
here.
shit does.
Yes, he does. Oh, that
I'd listen to that hip hop.
That's $100
That
pair of
line-
tits, by the way.
where that's what it was. I was like, what is this note? Because I had a note written that
Yeah.
just says what was that, and I don't know what it was, so I skipped it. He's saying something. He's talking about the Tourette's, the priest is, and that's when Somtow, I'm just gonna say that,
Yeah.
jumps up, like hops one step to the right behind the priest, and he's like, what was that? I was like, what the fuck was that delivery?
And you directed that? Like this was your choice? Wow.
But she rips open her boobs because it starts out and it's definitely her boobs, and then they
Yes.
cut away and they cut
Actually
back to
not.
no.
The entire
The
time.
first shot looked
It's
like it might
somebody
be.
else's.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
but they're
Yeah,
boobs.
the actress was super game for it, and then all of a sudden, once it came time, she didn't want to do it.
She's like, my mom can't know they're
You
pierced.
do, yeah, right. You do you. So anyway, in the commentary, Somtow's like, so yeah, we had $100, and all of a sudden we had a set of tits on, or practically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the first shot it does
Not from her. They went out and they hired some.
stunt tits.
but
Yeah,
the
Gonna get a
first
stunt
tits,
tit?
the
Stunt
stunt tits
tit.
are your real tits, and then it cuts away and it cuts back, and it's a mold, and it actually looks really good until they do the side angle where you can
Yeah.
see the lighting.
well,
and
it
stuff.
pops out like a movable object in a Scooby-Doo episode. You're just like, oh, something's gonna happen.
But
Yeah.
that rock's going to fall off that mountain, isn't it?
And she rips it open and pulls out her own heart, and then pulls his heart out of his chest, Kali Ma style, and then shoves her heart into his chest and puts his heart into her chest. Like, that's the quickest heart transplant.
It's
that's
love,
ever happened.
dude. He took her breast away. Take my breast away.
It's
So
a good
yeah,
time.
she rips out her own heart, opens up O'Sullivan's chest,
yeah,
puts her old corrupted heart into it.
you can be corrupted now. I've got this ventricle problem. You can deal with that.
You take this heart. I'm going to go hang out with some foul-mouthed little kid and raise him up as my own.
And then the priest O'Sullivan tells little Jimmy, what the fuck is his name? Ivan.
Jimmy, Ivan, so close,
I don't know.
man.
It's a little kid. They're all
You
named
know these
Jimmy.
classic Tucson names like Ivan?
Sharks of the Corn? Virus Shark? Cocaine Shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
As you folks know, we like to have a beer or three while we podcast, and sometimes that leads to a not so pleasant morning after, unless we remember to hydrate, people. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and it's now available in sugar-free with a proprietary zero sugar solution that has no artificial sweeteners. I love using Liquid IV because it comes in convenient little packets you can take with you, makes me feel rejuvenated and hydrated, and best of all, it actually tastes good. Just one packet of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than just water alone, thanks to the 8 vitamins and nutrients it has, and it has 3 times the electrolytes of those other sports drinks. We love Liquid IV so much that we're offering you, our loyal listeners, a steal of a deal. Get 20% off when you grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free, or any other variant at liquidiv.com and use the code WORSTPEOPLE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code WORSTPEOPLE at liquidiv.com. He tells Ivan that they're going to play basketball after dinner, after supper.
Oh, yeah.
Because this guy's clearly from Tucson because he says supper.
Nobody from Tucson says supper.
But everyone in Mexico plays basketball.
That's true, right? It's the national sport.
We learned that eventually.
I mean,
But the kid goes to play basketball, and O'Sullivan's not there because he was busy rolling around in blood glyphs on the wall.
What was
singing
this?
to himself? So when he first said, "I am the blood star rising," I couldn't quite hear him, and I was looking down, so I didn't see the subtitles. I heard him say, "I am the blood starter," and the first thing I thought was "Twisted Blood Starter."
because you said it right now, I just thought of like the CCR covering it. There's a blood star on the rise. I see that priest is acting funny.
But he's rolling around in these bloody glyphs, getting mad
I
at
see
himself.
him rolling round in glyphs.
There we go.
Apparently, those glyphs were like the only authentic thing in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you
somebody,
said
like,
he was studied.
Somebody went out of their way to make sure that those were actually translatable.
You gotta
Yeah.
make sure these blood
But
glyphs
people are
correct.
speaking actual gibberish on
Yeah,
camera.
like why do that and not the other? Like you're right there.
People watching The Laughing Dead want their Mayan glyphs to be correct.
There's gonna be some nerds
Accurately.
on a podcast one day making fun of this. If we
I don't
have,
even know what a podcast is yet.
if we
but it's
have
gonna
unreadable
happen.
glyphs, we'll be laughing at.
Laughing to death.
We'll be laughed dead. Ooh, that's a good name.
So yeah, the shitbird's waiting to play basketball, and Dozois, that's his name.
Oh, I want to talk
finally had
about
it
the
written here.
basketball court real quick because it's
Okay.
in like a courtyard of a shared community, and there is a window right under this basket, and I want to live there, so I could just grab the ball. I'm like,
I've got-
rebound, shut the windows.
Part of my notes say basketball with 2 exclamation marks in front of a window.
Dude, I mean, it's got the wood shutters on, so you're kind of safe. But like, I just would love to have my windows open and to just reject some little kid coming
My
up.
brain imposed
fucking-
glass over the wood. I know it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, but definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking block him and give him the old Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, you got to be careful playing basketball here. Dikembe Mutombo lives in that unit right there.
It terrified me. Like I could just grab the rim.
But Dozois is in his room where he shares with Frost.
Yeah,
And he's watching his titty movies.
he's watching his Mexican mamacitas.
What the fuck does the guy say? He's like, I don't want to look anymore at your voluptuous Mexican maidens.
Which why wouldn't you, sir?
Yeah, I don't understand.
You
I
said
think it's a
voluptuous
one-sided. I think it's a one-sided.
relationship.
Yeah.
And then Dozois sees somebody walk into the room, and he's I don't remember the exact delivery, but he's like,
It's
what
you?
what do you want, or what are you doing here? It's you or something. And then
and he goes, "Say what?"
oh, say what? That's what it was. Say what?
No one
Nobody-
said anything.
There wasn't even a sound. And then his head just gets swiped clean off his fucking neck and goes directly into. It started going out the window, and Jack's like, "It's happening!
We're going for it, dude."
Right into this fucking
It's
basketball
like the
hoop.
it's like the decapitation in Deadly Fiend. It's complete blunt
At the
object
buzzer.
completely removed.
So let me ask you this. Maybe this is like one of the different directors doing this. Why did it try and hide that it was the priest?
To make it mysterious, because I don't know. We already know his heart got switched.
Yeah, we saw him rolling around in blood gifts.
Blood gifts.
Yeah, blood gifts.
Yeah, they were on a loop. Just like
The same
possessed
gifts over and
screams.
over, just moving.
I guess we call them glyphs
So-
in this day and age.
So I braved
I'm not an architect.
the hour and a half plus 1 minutes of Vinegar Syndrome included commentary to bring you these special 2 nuggets of nothing. So please hold on to them. Between these 2 last scenes, there were 2 things revealed. That there was somebody named Marty Weiss on screen, to which Somtow started speaking of and said, well, perhaps now's not the time to elaborate on what happened to them.
Huh.
They really decapitated
So I
you?
actually don't know. And then at the very tail end of the
swishing.
possession scene. Yeah. It cuts out at one
Three-pointer?
point by looking down at his feet, and he says, I was very proud of those white shoes.
This commentary sounds very informative.
Do you know why he's proud of those
Uh-huh.
white shoes? Because he kept them white.
all of the white?
He is a
clothes are
doctor of
white.
divinity.
Well, you know, normally if you had people in white, you'd just splatter blood all over. 'em
I
'cause
cast
it
shield
looks
of
good.
faith.
I think the problem was they only had one outfit for each of these people, so they're like, "Well, we can't splatter blood."
Yeah.
we'll
No,
go
we-
back and shoot it. We'll fix it in post.
Do we have anybody on laundry? No. No, we do not.
But yeah, so the head goes into the basketball hoop, but
and
it
the
like
Knicks win! And the Knicks...
it sticks in the hoop, and I'm sitting here going, most basketballs are bigger than a human head, right? So like if you're playing basketball, you're like, made it, game's over.
Yeah, but basketballs don't have noses, dude.
Oh, the nose and the ears.
The
got
nose and
caught
the
in
ears,
the
that's
net.
it,
Hooked
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. He also had quite a big coif of curls.
That's fair. It makes a lot more sense now.
So it's like Velcro.
They definitely thought about that.
They thought about it. This isn't just me thinking about this high as shit. This is something they put thought into.
Homie gets out of his little bubble bath. Or no, he was watching TV.
No, he was in the bubble bath. Dozois was watching TV.
Yeah, and got decapitated.
Yeah.
But he comes out and he's like, what are people screaming about? And calm as a cucumber is like, decapitated head down there. Kind of looks like yours. And he reaches over to touch and just puts his hand on a squelching neck.
And he has the least enthusiastic reaction to this, or like emotional reaction. He like touches it and turns around and sees the head or the neck, and he sees the blood on his hand, and he's like, oh,
bother.
There's many sleepy nose cells in this movie.
Yeah.
Too many to count.
I loved though that the body is still sitting up, still squirting blood, and it's just like vibrating.
Twitching. It's like on a dashboard of somebody's El Camino.
Oh man, if anybody out there can make the little Hawaiian dancing girl, except for it's a twitching headless body, I'll buy it and put it in my car.
We can figure that out. We just got to get one, cut the head off, paint it red.
Whenever you hit a speed bump, it squirts blood.
I got a buddy with a 3D printer.
Don't take work
No,
out
I've
of this.
got a
man.
3D printer. It's brilliant.
We're going to make millions.
I just need a spring.
Not millions of dollars, millions of these toys.
Yes, we'll make millions of
We
quarters.
will lose millions.
When the police show up and they're at this crime scene,
Ha, ha.
and there's a sketch artist up on a ladder sketching the head in the basket. He's literally drawing like a baby doll head. It's got pigtails.
I might try and draw this and put it up on the fucking episode because I have the worst drawing talent, and this is right up there with mine.
It's just like a circle with squiggly pigtail things.
It's a family. It's a Family Guy sketch, like a skit when they're talking about like, can you draw this person and describe it perfectly? It's a stick figure.
You know what? I realized finally what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Scott Pilgrim versus the World when he's like, you know a girl that looks like this? And it's just like a squiggly circle with hair. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, that's Ramona Flowers.
Everyone knows that.
The yuppie new age guy has a nice comment to his female companion. He's like, well, at least you don't have to deal with his jokes anymore.
Solid.
She is so upset. And I'm like, that's the funniest thing anybody said so far besides that kid saying fuck.
Absolutely. Yeah, that kid's carrying the laughs right now.
Yeah, she gets all mad. She's like, a human life has been taken. I'm like, yeah, you know what movie you're in, lady?
Yeah. Also, comedy is healing, so come off it.
Yeah, meme makers will tell you that.
I said some terrible things about Kobe Bryant just yesterday.
So everybody's like, fuck it, we're out of town. We're getting out of here. They get on the bus, or they try to get on the bus. But the Mayan guys are standing outside of the bus.
They're in uniform. They're like zombie cops.
Yeah.
They're going to ask for more
Well,
paramedics.
there is a zombie cop also, right? He's the one that's hammering the stuff up on, like, covering up the gate to the town, the Jurassic Park gate, so they can't get out. And, like, the ladies try and tell him to stop, and he turns around, and he's all blue like a fucking Night of the Living Dead zombie.
And now one of the Mayan pulls out a magical flute and plays the white note because Otto, the bus driver from The Simpsons, is having an orgasm.
Yes,
right under this bus
jizzing
now.
and falling on the ground.
Don't touch it; it's tingling.
Dude, it's so great because he falls on the ground, and this dude force powers this bus into drive and just crushes this guy's head, and it looks fucking awesome.
Great squish.
Yes.
Great
And
gore.
the innkeeper guy gets squished between the bus and the wall.
I wanted a little more from this.
Yeah, there
'Cause,
was not much
just
there.
gave me a good head squish. Can we double down a little bit and now have like a good...
It carried him away at like 4 miles an hour.
And I think even Whitney was like, move out of the way.
Yeah,
Done.
it's like
Problem
slowly
solved.
rolling at him, and he's just like, it's the Austin Powers
Steamroller.
steamroller.
Keeps rolling, rolling, rolling. Ah!
And then
Well,
though
I'd be more upset if Fred Durst was rolling at me.
they cut back to the squished head, or kind of like on the side of it, and the eyeball just falls into
flicks
frame.
out.
Oh, just a little drop of that. I like
I don't know
it.
where that was. Like if it got squished so hard, the eyeball went straight up in the air like a
Where
cartoon.
it was in somebody's hand right above,
tell you
right
what.
outside a frame, ready to go.
It
And
was
then
out.
did.
It was actually up in the atmosphere looking for a basketball hoop. Couldn't find one, so
It tried to go home, but home was gone. Are you too good for your home, eyeball?
Go back to your home. Answer me.
And then the bus is covered in blood glyphs.
They were trying to leave. O'Sullivan couldn't get it started, and then he's like, all of a sudden has like a possessed realization that
he's
can't leave.
looking in the mirror and seeing the chick
sexy
he
girl.
changed hearts with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, you know what? We're not going to leave. We'll just wait till morning. I'll talk to the chief of police. Then we'll leave.
We'll get out of here, even if I have to bribe him. Like he says, like he's some sort of like, I don't know, made man.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll bribe our way.
I'll bribe
out.
our way out of here. You know that basket we hand out every Sunday? I've got that.
You know what? I'm back on board with that though. Yeah, priest has got some cash.
And then somebody says a line, there's something weird about that priest.
Yeah.
And I'll fucking say,
Yeah.
dude's got his tongue sticking out of his mouth, just fucking.
Yeah. He's acting a little funny. Oh yeah, just now.
There's something weird about that priest. It's almost as if he's a 2x4 that someone put a toupee on and started acting.
Is it? Somebody gave that Plinkett Wood a job. Is this where he's walking through the festival
is.
now? Because it looks, and Derek called this out. I'll repeat it though. He's like all these people partying. Like, man, this white dude is trying to dance and he cannot.
Yeah, because
Because he's like got that
stumbling
he's
and
got
jerking.
Twitch possession going.
They're just like, fucking
Dude,
white people
he's
can't handle
acting
tequila.
with his eyes. He's acting with his mouth and cheeks and fingers and toes
body.
and arms.
This is
and
the
gut
most
and-
emoting he does in this entire movie.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
when
no,
he's
you know
doing
what? Later when
possessed.
he's crying vomit, he does a little bit of acting.
Yeah, but when he's not possessed, he fucking sucks. I just wish he was possessed by a better actor.
I do love the kid catches O'Sullivan and his mom making out, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "You told me my dad was an astronaut."
And this is again, he's
This
like,
is your real father.
he's like, it was bad enough when I saw what was it, like actors and,
and congressmen,
congressmen
or
and,
whatever. Yeah.
and
says-
investment bankers.
He says, Jesus, Mom, I've seen enough stockbrokers,
There it
actors, politicians,
There you go.
priests than I can take.
Damn, mom was getting busy and running the gamut apparently of tax
she spent
brackets.
a long time being celibate, man.
Making up for lost dick.
She was only looking for people who could pay for that kid, though.
Yeah, and not one of them wanted to
Actors,
deal with it.
Politicians.
Hey,
exactly.
I'm your new stepdad. Go fuck yourself. Okay, we're out of here.
I'm just imagining though this kid growing up and her being like showing him a picture of John Glenn and being like, "This is your real dad."
Actually, it's just a picture of Buzz Lightyear. To infinity, and I'm gone.
Worst dad ever. I'm laughing, Dad, but are you really not coming back?
That was a good one, but I mean, like, you're leaving though, right?
So the Somtow, I think, says something to him here. Like they get back together. It's kind of confusing, but he's like, "You are now the death god," and everybody starts going, "Ah!" Like it's the magic word.
He
Said the magic word.
Right. Okay. There it is. They're on the bus. Kid fucks off after finding out that he's a priest's kid.
Uh-huh.
And then the priest goes out there going, I'll find him. I'm valiant. I am the priest father who stepped up.
I'm the father.
He really just wants to kill this kid, though.
And then he gets possessed on the walk there. And
Yeah.
then he grabs the kid, and all of a sudden they're at a graveyard.
That's
And
what it is.
And
everyone's
it's the
chanting
Pee Wee
death.
Herman word of the
It
day.
is 100%. You fucking. There's a bush in the background that puts arms up and shit. Like,
Yeah, with eyes.
Lawrence Fishburne is not popping in. He sees this. He's like, no, you ain't got mail. Nope.
So here's my
little
commentary
box
note.
opens. That dissevered head from earlier is in there with a turban on.
Here's my commentary
Like a
note
hi,
from
like a hi,
Somtow.
no.
I mentioned that whenever he wasn't speaking, it was just dead silent. There was
Yeah,
no
on the
movement.
commentary.
And then you heard, when in doubt, fog machine it out over. and then,
I mean,
silence.
Dude, Fog Machine Rentals were getting work this weekend.
Oh, nobody rented that. This DP that we saw in the fucking behind the scenes thing, that was his fog machine.
It just made more sense to own at this point.
Somtow is just cutting out kids' hearts. This is what we were talking about earlier, a conveyor belt of children. And he's just like, the lady is holding a platter covered in hearts. And these kids are just waiting in line to be murdered. And some of them look scared, but there's one kid that's just like,
Huh. Look at that. Cutting out hearts.
That one's the dog in line for the dog in line for the asphyxiation room.
yes, exactly. From
Dead Heat reincarnated. He's like, it's just a line to another line.
How do I always get myself in these situations? Did you catch the noise when he's cutting the hearts out, though?
He's ripping out hearts.
It's like he's cutting fabric.
Yeah, it sounds like cloth ripping. I'm like, that is not
Well,
what
they
people
had to have
sound
him
like.
cut into something.
Yeah.
Right.
Use the same sound from earlier. There was a squelch when he sacrificed that
feel
girl.
I feel like this is where he wrote like 4 or 5 lines that he just wanted to just fire
he's
off.
just banging out fucking one-liners over
Yeah,
and over.
I feel like we haven't quite gotten into how big of a personality
We definitely
Somtow is
have it, and
supposed to have.
I think he's owed that.
So he's sitting here. It pans up to him, full centered in the frame, and he's got a knife down. And he goes and he's got his lackey next to him, sneering and snickering. And he's like, meanwhile, he's supposed to be like Mayan, like deep fucking old ass, been surviving forever,
The god of
Mayan
death.
god. And he says, well, I don't like sacrificing kids. They're so expensive these
yeah,
days.
this,
Kids are so
I don't like
expensive
killing.
these days.
I don't like killing. Rolls his eyes like a clock, like a cat clock on the wall in Snickers.
my
That
favorite
much.
one, you have to always be wary of those milk cartons.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, he's the fucking Rodney Dangerfield of
And
Mayan
then
sacrifices.
Now's a little bit of our unveiling the whole plan. Why Sullivan's been possessed, and he says once the new sect TM has been
my God.
installed,
This is
I
the
can.
best.
He says I can retire into a peaceful life as a investment broker.
What the actual fuck kind of bullshit plan do you have? You are a Mayan god of death, and you want to trade it in to be fucking Gordon Gecko? This is ridiculous, man. Sacrifices are for closers.
He's watched those peaks and dips, dude. He knows.
This is the end of the
He
80s.
knows
The
how to
market was
control
good.
He's like, hey, look, invested a bunch of kid shit because they're going to be missing, and we're going to need all. I can control this market. You want milk cartons?
Low jack for kids. That's my
Jack
idea.
for kids. Oh, right after this came out, everyone started white people started putting leashes on their kids after this.
Yeah,
He sold them.
that was him. Exactly. The archaeologist dude from earlier.
We're back at the hotel lobby.
Yeah, he reads about what happens, or he reads the prophecy, and it's like a priest who has lost their faith and fathered a child that doesn't know their father.
And this is why Lori's here, dude.
Whatever.
It's the random blonde from the lunch session with Lori
Yeah.
earlier, and he's
Yeah.
reading blood sigils off the wall unprompted.
Oh, yeah, you're just holding this information back. Do you know how to read fucking blood glyphs?
And then he confronts O'Sullivan in the hotel lobby, and he's like, "It was you fuck." And this O'Sullivan goes full fucking.
Oh, they try and do the best scene from Demon Knight.
You never go full possessed, man.
Yeah, you know what? You can't do it. You're not Billy Zane, man.
Wait, the best scene from Demon Knight is when Billy Zane opens his mouth and a sponge comes out. What are you talking about? That's the best scene.
I love all of the build up to the fucking cow tipping fucking
Oh,
cotton poke motherfucker. Like the series of not to completely go into
No,
you know,
it's
better
about
way
Billy
to-
Zane. It's
but
allowed.
the like series of errors that lead from the ground up into that explosion of Billy Zane in that movie is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Because
So anyway,
that
shit's
movie will
getting
happen.
nuts in the lobby.
Just so you know, I didn't watch that movie ever until 2 years ago, and it blew my fucking mind.
as it should.
Yeah,
This movie's fucking great.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
And we
Billy
will,
Zane's
we
got
will
a
still
fucking,
cover it, but it's
he's got a ghost cock. It's fucking awesome.
We'll cover it partially when we decide to watch Bordello of Blood.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Like you have to do one to do the other kind of thing.
No,
Man.
no,
Oh.
you don't.
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
All right.
He starts to transform into possessed priest here. He turns around. There's blood coming out of his eyes. There's pea soup coming out of
Very
his
pea
mouth.
soup.
But I wasn't hungry.
He punches this hotel clerk in the head, and her head just
Not
pops.
into the head, through the head.
Through the head. You're right. It's
he
not in.
punches through the fucking head.
It's fucking
Oh yeah,
awesome.
dude. He fucking dead alives her.
Yes, exactly.
And he's got a handful of like just beautiful looking roast beef covered in ketchup.
She had a role in this movie, but it was about as notable as we've made it throughout this.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
she was in a couple scenes, but she's basically there to be fodder. Because
Yeah.
for some reason, spoiler alert, they didn't kill those two fucking new age pieces of shit.
Yeah,
which
and
he
they
said in
should've-
the behind the scenes documentary. He's like, I
They
regret
say
that
it
to this
in
day.
everything about this movie that you can find.
Yeah,
They should have died probably by being impaled on crystals.
or just ripped in half. Anything really.
No, it's gotta be ironic. Have him be hummed to
power
death.
of friendship their way out of here.
But after the explodey punch, he rips off this dude Frost's arm and he fucking shoves it hand first down this guy's throat. And this looks fucking great too. And we didn't mention it.
Bam, bam.
The effects were done not by him. I think they were designed by, but John
Bam, bam.
Carl. I'm gonna say it wrong. You already corrected me.
Buechler, baby.
I say John Carl Buechler, which I said during our
Oh,
Friday the
JCB.
13th episode, but it's Beckler.
Beechler.
I mean,
hell yeah.
I've heard it as Buechler mostly from you.
Yeah,
but
that was
I
our-
definitely
As
how I've
Ghoulies
always
and
said it.
I
Carnosaur,
definitely
baby.
trust your pronunciation.
Yeah, because we did his Friday the 13th back in October.
Well, with Terry Kaiser.
Yeah, but anyway,
So here's my thought on how they felt about their effects that were shipped to them by John Carl Buechler. Hear me out. So Buechler didn't do all of the effects. He didn't do the head being run over earlier. That was them.
bummer.
okay.
Yeah, but he did these, and he did the bam, 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 spoiler alert. There are great monsters later.
Yes,
They don't animate all that great, but I will say that's
No.
probably because there wasn't the operator who was
Yeah.
manufactured for. So I think the neck fingers looking so good was that he shipped them a fully, like, you put it on this and it's almost entirely,
It's
you
ready to
press the
go.
button and it does it.
yeah.
And then later on, the things are much more complicated than I assume the people who are on staff to operate. And
That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, in the credits, it says he's designed them. It doesn't say he was like the
he was
makeup effects. So I
he
think
was
he's-
not here.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was not here.
No,
pulling
that
the
makes sense.
switches
You
and-
ship
and
a whole apparatus like here.
Yeah.
It's got
here,
instructions.
these things take probably 3 people each at the minimum to operate
Yeah.
properly and make look kinetic.
Well, and
Have fun.
I love the effect and I love his work.
It looks
but this
so
is
fucking
not
cool.
how human flesh works. Like he sticks the hand down this guy's throat and the fingers are pushing against his own neck and they're just like wiggling. And I don't care. That's
I
not
don't
how
care.
human
He's
flesh works.
he's got like a frill of
Yes,
fingers.
exactly.
He's
It
a
looks like
he's a fucking what is it?
Dilophosaurus,
Dilophosaurus. He's about to
exactly.
spit right now.
yeah, he's about to spit at Dennis Nedry.
No, it looks cool as shit.
that was Buechler's actually influence.
Yeah.
When he was in communication with Somtow, he gave him that part of the script to say, this is what we want to see on here, a hand going down the neck. And Buechler's like, fingers. Take it
Fucking
further.
fingers, man.
Take it further.
Yeah, I'm glad they did.
It's fucking awesome. That's one of the best shots of the whole movie. And then
if it wasn't for the keyboard clacking.
these new age hippie kids start throwing crystals at the priest because
Well,
a
Frost
crystal-
comes
a
out.
crystal
That's what
cut
they
is-
have.
Frost
Yeah.
had come out and been like, "Who put this shit in my room under my
Yeah.
bed?" You
but
know, and
one of the
then-
crystals did hurt him, so they're like, "Oh, it works."
yeah.
So they're hucking crystals at him, and he falls and hits this wall, which just collapses under his weight, and he disappears into the ether. And then the wall rewinds and rebuilds itself.
This is a portal to the waiting room in Beetlejuice.
I think this is a door to the underworld.
yeah. You think so, huh?
She throws crystals and says, "Take this, you son of a bitch."
Oh, dude, then she starts putting them into like a big pile. And Derek and I were really hoping it's on a piece of cloth too. We were hoping that she was going to get a sack full of crystals and just go prison yard on this motherfucker, dude.
Go full fucking Full Metal Jacket, right? Like a bar of soap and a sock.
All right, everyone, get your sock full of crystals. Mercury's in retrograde, bitch.
I'm so sorry to bring it back so far after. Well,
No,
it's the one scene after. All right, so that hand.
How dare you do that to this movie?
That hand gag, right? So I gave
Yeah.
credit to Buechler, who created the thing and gave them a ready to use like thing, but I will give credit to whoever one of the fucking 5+ people who could have possibly directed the scene.
Oh,
They
yeah.
shot it in an unbroken single take.
Oh yeah.
So they're beating the shit out of Sullivan, and then 2 of them pop up on either side. The camera's behind Sullivan. They run a table through him. The camera goes back with Sullivan, drops down with them, and then Sullivan rises up, takes his arm without breaking to cut into a different shot, tears off the arm. So that means they had the fake arm already on him carrying the table.
Nice.
So that
That's an
That's
that's
good.
an
I didn't even
impressive
catch that it was a
straight
one
scene.
shot.
I couldn't
That's
imagine
nice.
what that was like to reset, but fuck yeah.
no,
Go them.
that's fantastic. Whitney had seen while we were watching it. She's like, "Who's that guy?" And we couldn't figure out. Like, it wasn't.
There's a guy hiding.
It was a guy hiding, like just trying to scurry off camera Because like, no, it must have been this guy. She's like, no, he was standing there.
Was
it
there
was
a
a crew
wire
member.
and a fucking and a remote control?
So I think Whitney definitely did see somebody. We were just like, no, it must have been the fucking the
'cause-
hieroglyphic guy.
Yeah, because there was nobody else at the end of the shot. Because I was like, maybe it's another guest or something that's not in the movie per se. Exactly, it's a Tammy and the T-Rex behind the truck guy.
Yeah. Or what was the Andrew Dice Clay we watched?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude was saying that they had extended gore scenes but there was just and extended monster fight scenes, but you just couldn't get away from seeing the people behind it. And it's like we were looking for it and we saw it anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
They cut back to Ivan in a cage made of rubber, and this kid is dressed in this. He's dressed
he
in
can't
this
turn it
Mayan
off
outfit.
either. He is
No.
just fucking cursing.
But he's just, Jesus Christ, I look like fucking Prince. So then we go back to the hotel. The crystals start glowing, so they throw them at the wall or do something, or they walk at the wall with them and it makes the wall open. They start chanting. This is when
at some point
blonde
somebody
archaeologist
says,
guy-
"The crystals, you have to try."
well, we don't know.
That's
anything.
the blonde archaeologist guy. He's telling the two yuppie kids, like, you've got to try something. And they're like, no, we went to one class at the Shirley MacLaine Crystal Center or some shit.
Shirley MacLaine. I would go to her crystal class. It's fucking great.
And they do a magic chant. Well, archaeologist blonde guy does a magic chant.
They're just humming right
They're
along.
just humming like they do. And I love that he was the
Lori
one telling
totally
them.
plays the Yoko in this situation. When it pans past her, you get the.
He's holding his left ear. She's throwing off my harmony. Find that note, bitch.
Well, I love that it was the blonde archaeologist guy that's like, you guys know something. But
you
then
gotta try
he's the one
something.
chanting.
Uh-huh.
He's the one. You know something. You are the guy.
This is you do this. You tell us what to do.
Listen, Illinois Jones. Like,
It's Ohio Jones, man. He's not quite Indiana.
but the wall re-breaks and it's a magical portal into
A baked potato.
the inside of this tinfoil fucking cave that they're in.
Hell's not hot.
It's like
It's made of paper mache.
It's like 350 degrees.
Like some shots, it literally looks like they're inside of a baked potato, like a tinfoil wrapper. And some shots, yeah, it looks like a fucking paper bag.
Hey, I appreciate the effort made to have it look like a cave. You
And
know,
here's
like,
another
we're
commentary
poking
check-in.
fun, but
Between that cut and when they start walking into hell, Somtow says, with a certain inevitability, the desperate strands of the story begin to be brought together in one wildly silly scene of unmitigated spectacle.
I don't know if it was unmitigated.
I don't think you know what that word means.
Oh, there were
That
some
would
limit.
be-
There were some mitigations.
There's some. I've seen some mitigate.
Now I'm just thinking of fucking Princess Bride. Unmitigable.
Why do you keep saying that?
But yeah, so this is when we see the priest. He's walking through this fucking Star Wars Death Tree hallucination cave, and he's crying tears of vomit / pea soup.
It's green, deep green.
Yeah. And as they all start going through it, they're seeing their deepest fears or whatever. So the yuppie dude falls
So it's
off.
going to show me like a shark trying to marry me?
Shit.
Commitment in sharks, dude. That's it.
The yuppie guy falls off this cliff. Well, he jumps off this cliff and you can see the cliff just giving underneath him too, like the paper just crumbling. And then he falls onto this like water slide to hell. And so the girlfriend just follows him. I guess that was his biggest fear, slides. He's just
No, his biggest fear is that he can't get away from her no matter where he goes. If
Everybody's
you go to
tripping.
hell, I'm going to find you.
See, I was thinking maybe as a kid he went on one of those water slides where you stand in the thing and they open the bottom, and
Uh-huh.
you drop down. But I guess it's commitment. It's the same
Yeah,
as you.
Are
absolutely.
you
I get
truly
it,
from
dude.
Arizona? Because I'd never heard about some shit like that. I might have seen it on the old TikToks.
I mean, I've seen it at
Oh,
Vegas.
It was at Wet and Wild in Vegas,
Yeah.
which is
Not
not
get
what
your
you think
toes
it is
sucked in.
because it's Wet and Wild in Vegas.
He was wet, I was wild.
My dad's like, we're going to Wet and Wild. I was like, I don't think I'm allowed to go to that with you guys.
Let me get my ones. What?
But yeah, then after they fall down this magical smoke slide, Lori comes back into this and she sees the return of Richard Nixon, her dad in a wheelchair. And this is when I was like, this is where he tears the face.
It's coming, right?
Nothing. They had to have done it and then just cut it or something. 'cause
There,
it looked like shit.
there's 0 sense to having this guy in an old man mask.
Yeah,
there's
what is
0
this? Remo
sense.
Williams?
I got plastic surgery.
But yeah, so there's that. And the kid starts apologizing because the priest shows up and he's like, takes him out of the rubber cage. Dude, this fucking cage.
There are walls made of rubber. That like
hell is kind of bouncy.
Like when he pulls the door open on this thing, it's just like, it's not even like, it's like they just took bicycle inner tubes.
Well, they also saw this kid's kind of a shithead. Like, he's never going to get out of here. He's not even going to try and escape.
But O'Sullivan starts carrying the kid over to the sacrificial altar, and he's like, I'm sorry for calling you a dude in a skirt. I didn't mean it.
I
love you, Dad.
Yeah, he starts playing the daddy card a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Stop it, daddy.
I mean, that's why priests go by father, right? So the kids can call him daddy.
Father Dad. That's coming this summer to USA Network.
So there was mention when blonde archaeologist guy earlier was talking about this, right? How they have to play basketball, ? And I know it's like a real...
No, they say basketball with their chest. They say basketball, capital lettered.
Oh, I know, but like I'm saying ? Because I know it's like I know this is a real sport. They
Yes,
have like the
but-
sideways ring that they have to like put the ball through or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever called
Shit.
basketball.
I had noted to myself to look up the specific name of this.
Yeah.
But they...
So, I mean, I know it's like historically accurate that there is a game that you play with your feet and your hips and you get it through the hoop and the loser gets sacrificed. I don't think it was ever called basketball, though, dude.
No, and you don't play it with a basketball as they do shortly.
You definitely
right
don't
here.
play with it. You got a better chance of playing with a severed head than a basketball.
The priest has the basketball, and he throws it to him, and it turns into a bloody head.
Yeah, I think
And then
they
it's
just,
a basketball.
If the Mayans are using it, it's a basketball. If the Americans are using it, it's a bloody severed head.
It's home court advantage, dude. You got a
Yeah,
spell on
exactly.
that.
I'll say between the special features and the commentary, nobody had noted that there was any like specificity on which team. So I credit you. I say good on you for
That's
paying
what
attention.
I noticed. I could have. I mean, it doesn't
No,
mean that it was
it's
every
there.
shot.
It's fact now. Okay,
Yeah, I know. That's canon.
that's canon. Yeah.
This is when archaeologist kid is like, "All right, it's time to summon Ku Klux Klan."
All right, everyone, put your rings in here. We got to get Captain Planet.
Cuckoo
He
Klan.
says fucking cuckoo con.
Cuckoo Clan.
Yeah, well, and like, and you know, Cuckoo Clan is one thing, but we saw it on IMDb before we heard it in the movie, and it's KUKUKLAN. I was like, excuse me.
We can't watch this movie anymore, dude.
So they start doing a chant, and the priest's eyes. Dude, the stuff here is pretty cool too. The priest's face starts bulging, and the eyes are bleeding.
He's got the like piranha teeth now.
Yeah. The Somtow's eyes start bleeding, and so Somtow transform into the death god guy, or
Yes.
okay.
Somtow does, and then Ohio Jones turns into the good god, the god of light.
It's the fucking blonde guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Which
Yeah.
who is
the feathered serpent.
the good one?
Yeah, they start a friendship circle while they're in the middle of their chants, and he says, we must become the serpent. We need the god Quetzalcoatl on our side.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't give these guys time to do this chant.
Yeah, zombies, what are you doing? They're just over there racking up points. Like, ha ha ha.
We win.
3, 4.
And O'Sullivan's got Ivan on the table, and he's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna kill me!"
He's gonna fucking kill me.
My new dad I just met's gonna fucking sacrifice me.
This is the worst step that I've had yet. This is worse than the fucking guy that worked at the movie theater.
So the whatever.
Umsek.
Thank you. I don't have it in this part. It was earlier in the notes.
The death god.
Umsek turns into like a little tiny shitty version of Godzilla. And the blonde archaeologist dude turns into like a really fucked up looking version of Slimer
Okay.
with arms and a fucking jewel in his head.
It's almost mixed with fucking what they turned Bill Paxton into in Weird Science at the end. Just that.
Oh, yeah.
She's
big,
got the Freddy Krueger
formless
worm
turd.
body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? When the blonde dude's face is changing, they do try to do the like American Werewolf.
The teeth coming out.
Try.
And it looks cool for like for the beginning, but then that's as far as they get.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep showing the same shot over and over, and it's like, come on, guys,
Come on.
come on.
Come on.
And so there's a monster quote unquote battle.
They're
And
both
there
crawling
was a
around on their
kaiju
front
fight.
arms.
Yeah, these two rubber monsters bounce off each other a couple times.
Hey, you like Power Rangers? This is great.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching it.
Rita Repulsa's in the back trying to sacrifice some kid.
Each monster could lean 45 degrees on the one side and slap the other with its wrist.
You know what though? It's not the worst, right? I mean, we've all seen that.
Oh,
Was
it
it
was
the
great.
second Conan, the Barbarian?
Yes, the
Destroyer.
Yeah.
That one's got a pretty bad fucking puppet monster thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and that's a
truly-
high budget.
You look at this
Higher.
as slapstick,
Higher.
and maybe you'll be happy with it.
I mean,
There's a lot
they
going
look
on.
really cool.
Yes,
That's
they just
as far
don't
as it
move
goes.
well.
Though. They don't move cool and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
But they look cool. Yeah, and Rita Repulsa is in the back saying, "Make my death god grow."
Make my death god grow.
But there's the priest picks up the kid or tries to do something, and he says. So somebody tries to pick up the kid because this is when I get my favorite kid line because he's like, "Let me go, motherfucker!" Now that doesn't sound that funny. Now imagine an 8-year-old saying it.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you say that anytime someone tries to hug you.
To his priest father, who is a motherfucker.
Yes,
You did fuck my mom. Damn, Dad.
Somebody knocks the crystal out of the monster's head.
Yeah,
and
one monster slaps the other monster onto its side.
Oh no! So the Slimer monster with the crystal is the death god,
Yes.
and the Godzilla monster is
The
the other
lizard
one. Sorry, I
monster.
got him backwards.
Yeah, he's got the feathers and he's a serpent.
Yeah, because they take the crystal out of his head, and it looks like basically like a big white turtle shell. And this priest, who has been noted in this movie to be good at basketball, is going to throw it through the quote unquote basketball hoop.
You'd be better at you would need to be better at playing football.
Right? It's
Like,
not.
is what
it's
I'm
not
thinking.
a ball.
It's oblong.
But instead, he hands it to this little fucking
You
shitbird.
fucking go get him, cuz it's him.
Dude, this is
Yeah.
not the time to go get him, cuz this is not a father teaching moment.
No,
now
don't
when you're
go
trying
get
to
'em.
fish, son, make sure you choose the right lure.
Show him what you got, kid.
And so I'm assuming what happens is when the crystal goes through the hoop, it shatters, and that's what breaks this. But to the way they shot it, it just looks like the kid misses.
Oh,
and it just
shit.
shatters on the side of this stone hoop thing that they have.
Oh, you little shit! You fucked it up. I should have done it myself. Yes.
Well, now we're all gonna die.
you
They
happy?
should have befriended a big old armadillo like they did in that one cartoon movie. With
Well,
the
now
really
we're at the
fine
end of
native.
now we're at the end of Cabin in the Woods because the kid missed, and the old gods are gonna take over. But no, there's an electrical storm of some sort. Not quite as electrical stormy as the end of Empire, but you know, there's electricity in the air, and they escape from this cave, and then one of the worst explosions. I couldn't tell. Jack was saying it looks like a perspective thing where they're doing an explosion and have the building in the distance. Some of it looked
Oh,
like miniatures.
no.
It looked
No,
like they
it
had
was
the
a
lighter
picture.
right in front of the camera.
No, it was a picture. It was a picture.
Oh,
That's
so
even
that's-
worse.
Yeah, but
and
that's
then-
why
and
we're
then
both
they
right.
composited the explosion over it, and then there was that one quarter frame shot of the light post that was an explosion going across a mini in Old
That's
Tucson.
kind of fucking great, dude.
And then like they run away and they go around the corner and the festival's still going on. Nobody noticed an
absolutely
explosion.
party time, baby.
I guess they're like explosion. This party really fucking
This
kicked
is
off.
fucking great, man. This is way better than last year.
They had those actors for 2 nights, and they said, "Let's film this middle scene right here, and let's not fucking forget to film the end."
Yeah.
That's why they had to do 2 nights. They left and he's like, "Fuck!
Yeah,
What else can we raffle off, guys?
Shouldn't have been drinking tequila all night." Now I don't remember.
Don't you ever say
my
that.
vision hinges upon tonight's party.
And then they turn right back around and the hotel is gone and it's the excavation site that blonde kid was supposedly working at. And I'm like, wouldn't you have known this is where your excavation site is?
This is something else, right? Like there's a,
That dude's 9 to 5 is there. He has his coffee in the fucking backhoe
this is
every
where
morning.
I piss every morning.
But he had no idea.
But isn't this another movie? Like maybe I'm just making it up, but I feel like there's another movie that has an ending similar to this.
Oh, the 5th director came across just for that.
for
That
this
last night, yeah.
No, but I mean, like, you guys know horror movies and
Oh,
and
dude, no,
things
that's a
like
trope.
that. There's,
Did it or did it, not it.
like walking away from a hotel that wasn't there. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's stuck in my head a little bit that I've seen that before.
I can't think of a specific example, but
But
it's
it is-
definitely
it is
happened where it's like you
tropey.
turn around and
Yeah,
it was all a dream.
According
According to the subtitles, at this point we get triumphant mariachi music.
which is already a triumphant music.
Yes, the songs about murder sound happy and triumphant. There are whole songs about cartels murdering towns, and you're just like out there shaking your
They're
ass.
danceable. They're danceable, dude.
Umsek and his cohorts are at the party, kind of.
They're the heavy metal band going on later.
This is where the
Umsek and his
commentary told me
cohorts.
that there was an inevitable like tease toward a sequel in which, despite having seen this movie 4 times now, I don't remember.
No?
No, please walk me through this.
Okay, so Umsek and his crew are standing on the other side of the fountain. The party's behind them.
Yep.
And they're just staring at the priest, and he seems to be the only one who sees them.
And
so
I don't know if it's Umzek or the girl, but somebody does like the come hither with their hand, like come join us.
yeah. And he kind of like rubs his eyes, whatever, and then they're gone.
He starts to have a heart attack.
Oh, that's right.
He's like, oh, my heart. But as soon as
and you have like the loud heart beating sound, and then his family comes over to him and like grabs
as soon
his
as
shoulders.
the family's there,
it stops.
his heart's okay again. And then he
Yeah.
looks, and now the heavy metal band is gone.
Yeah, and then there's fireworks going off, and the kids talking about how fucking intense these fireworks are. And then when we pan up to the sky and the fireworks clear, you see the blood star, and you hear Umsek say, "The blood star," and then it goes to credits.
Yeah, somebody wanted a fucking sequel.
Yeah, just got his kid back, and he's like,
Yeah.
"I will threaten you." With
I'm
the
kind of
same
a
has been
dad.
done
You're
to
grounded for the
I."
rest of your life if you ever cuss again.
I know. I just
Poppy.
got here and I tried to kill you, and
But change.
but also don't fucking curse.
Do as I say, not as I do. And then that's the end of that movie, and we go into the same song we've heard a bunch of times, but more discordant.
Oh, we're proud of this song,
Yeah.
and it's a jumble now.
Would you guys believe Somtow did all the music?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
Would
I
you
know,
believe
I know
that 50% of his career, probably more than 50% of his career before this, was doing music in Thailand?
That's his
I
career
wouldn't have
right
known
now is
that.
doing music.
Fuck yeah!
He's like a
Hey, me
composition
too.
teacher.
Not really.
He's like I couldn't find. I found it once and I couldn't find it when I was looking again. But he's like a professor, a music professor at some university or something. That's what he does now. So I mean, he's a music guy. But like, yeah, it's like it was that same song, but the end part was like they were playing the song and then they started playing it again like a second later. So it's like tinka 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 tinka. It's just like, what is happening? And then of
Dude.
course that's the music on the menu. And I walked out to go pee, and she's like, I gotta mute this shit.
Oh yeah, no, we went and searched for that remote. Like, turn it off. Torture, man.
Made in Arizona.
That was a
Yeah.
blast.
Happy birthday, Arizona.
Made here, had no connections to, but that's fine.
Most movies made
Well,
here
it
don't.
did make sense. It did make a little poke to Tucson's in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah. So we'll do recommendations. We'll start with our guest, Serj.
Your only choice in this is buying it, and until Vinegar Syndrome sponsors my homies here, I'm going to go ahead and say, if you made it to the end of this, I think you got the experience. It's a really pretty, it's a really like bright and bombastic, loud and fucking like ridiculous movie, and I love it for that.
Yeah.
But
So
wait until Vinegar Syndrome sponsors these guys, and then use
then
their
go
code
buy
to
it.
buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it recommend. As far as my normal caveats, this is best watch with people. This is a definitely, I could put this on the background of a party and we don't need to hear the plot. We just got to see the squish.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
forget to say that I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I watched it 4 times in the last year, and I trailed. It was only a hour and a half plus 1 minute, and I always trail off. I black out by the end of it. I don't know how it truly ends.
But 4 times in a year is not somebody that
But
doesn't
I enjoy
like
it up until then.
Yeah.
I'll say it's a long hour and a half, but it's a blast the whole time.
I mean, so when you're watching it, though, these 4 times, were you alone or with people kind of imbibing?
Oh, one in the same, a couple times yes, a couple times
All
no.
right.
I got the whole rounded.
Because I could see checking out the end, like, being by myself, like, God, are we got that fucking hour 30 plus one yet?
well, and that's so I will softly recommend it, but not until we start getting paid. Go buy stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. No,
Until
it's-
then, come to Derek's house. You bring some beer, some wine, some whiskey. We'll talk.
Yes, exactly. I think it's fun. I think it is slow. It takes a while to get where it's going, but when it gets there, it's awesome. And I think that's a lot of what I read about it too, was people saying like, the end is great, but is it worth the end? Like, is it worth the hour and 10 to get to the 20?
Yes.
I thought it was, but
Oh,
I don't
definitely.
know. I mean, I'll watch it again. I own it, but I don't know how soon that'll be.
Halloween.
All right, so I mentioned that I fucking loved this movie. I'm really proud that it's on my shelf. What I love about it is that it looked like a blast the whole time. First off, it didn't look
Yeah.
like anybody was like, "Oh, this is dipping into my pension.
Uh-huh.
This
Yeah.
is gonna hurt me." It looked like a blast. It was clearly collaborative. I love movies that managed to be fully huge personality. You got fucking explosions and monsters and blood and guts and terrible acting, and some zombies are clearly looking at the camera and sticking their tongues out a bunch. Not to be so bold as to say, I love movies that look like maybe me and my friends could have made them.
Yeah.
And this is the combo of that it was also kind of made in the same area that me and my friends make our little movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong though. When we talked about the baked potato cave. I mean, this is somebody that was making a cave out of cloth, like these little tricks,
probably in
that you and
somebody's
your
kitchen.
friends could actually do.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome about this movie.
So I've been doing a thing lately where we finished with a couple of reviews that I find funny off of Letterboxd.
Let it rip.
And I tried to do a couple bad, a couple good. It was harder to find good ones for this movie.
We call this segment Outside Voices.
The first one, and I feel like this guy knows possession movies because this user's name is Captain Howdy. And he says, so I felt like watching a film called The Laughing Dead. And I did just that. I had 2 epiphanies at the halfway point. Did I mention this is 1 star? This is 1 star.
1 star.
I had 2 epiphanies at the halfway point of this one. One was, oh, I think this is trying to be a dark comedy. And the other, I don't give a shit. Wacky low-budget horror movies are my jam, but I ask only one thing. Don't bore me. 1 full star only because it has some gore towards the end. Loser.
It has gore towards the end.
Absolutely, go fuck yourself. We sacrificed a kid in the first scene. We ran over a head
Exactly.
halfway
We start
through
with
it.
gore.
Exactly.
Fucking
The next
1
one,
star. I
only-
give your review 1 star.
I give this movie 1 star. I
But I'm
fucking
also
loved
giving
it.
his review 1 star.
Yeah, it's a 5-star in my heart, but my heart has some fucking like mud trucking boots on. I can wade through it.
It's a 1 star production.
This one is 1.5 stars from Georgia Dot.
Oh, we're getting better.
It says, best titty shot maybe ever.
He's never
Not
seen,
when Life Force exists.
he's never seen Total Recall.
Shit, there's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them.
The quality of the 2 in Life Force, though.
Yeah. All right.
And the one we're going to end with is a 5-star review from a person named Chris. Simply Chris. I have no idea what's going on here, but the zombie basketball game and the dinosaur fight afterwards prohibit me from giving this any less than 5 stars. And I feel like I'm more on board with Chris here.
Yeah,
100%.
The 5's a little much, but I like your energy, Chris.
We got basketball and dinosaurs.
And if only the dinosaurs were playing basketball.
Oh boy.
That's the weird back sequel we never needed.
Yeah, they turn into kaiju's. Like, are they gonna fight? No, they're gonna face off, air hockey style.
So that'll be it. We all recommend this.
Do you got anything coming up you want to plug?
I'm still in the same band that I was in last time I was here. I was in this band for years before that, and hopefully it was going to continue.
And many more.
And many more. If anybody listened this far, I want to also say that one of this movie's greatest achievements was getting Barbara Crampton on set one day.
Just on set.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. No, yeah, she showed up one day. I don't know what tenuous connection to any of that this movie had
I
anything
heard
to
you
do
were
with
doing
it.
titty shots.
But Somtow thought it was enough to bring up in the middle of everything like I am right now.
Yeah. Hey, you learn from the best.
So don't forget to go check out our website, badmoviesworstpeople.com. You can find merch. You can find links to our YouTube page and to everywhere you can find this. So if you have friends who want to listen, send them there too. Or just tell them, to go listen to it. Send us an email, badmoviesworstpeople.com. Say something funny about a movie that you like. Then we can cover that movie because you said something funny about it. If you don't say something funny, if I just get an email that says the name of a movie or has a link to IMDb, as has happened.
Take some of the pressure off. You can just try and be funny.
You don't have to be funny, but tell me a story.
A
No,
story.
put something up. At the bare minimum, it'll go up on the story. That's like the
Yeah.
refrigerator.
You know what?
of-
Make
yeah,
up,
you
make
made
up
the
a
fridge.
fake story. Make up a fake story. Tell me a story about shitting your pants at the movie theater, and then segue into how you want to watch a movie.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
care.
make up a story about shitting my pants at the theater. Yeah.
Yeah, completely fabricated.
So it definitely wasn't a Wednesday.
Matinee.
Last week. Next week we'll be covering another movie shot at least partially in Arizona called The Dungeon Master. It's ridiculous
I am excited.
because it's February, so why not do 2 horror movies? Well, I don't know. The Postman was kind of a horror movie.
Yeah, it was kind of horrible.
But thank you guys for listening. I have been Derek.
I'm still Whitney, and we have asshole neighbors.
I'm Jack.
Oh, I'm Serj.
Good night. Go possess yourself.
Please lay me down.
Hi ho!
Hi ho!
Hi ho!
Boobies!
That was Candy. She's got a very deep voice.
What'd you say about my voice, bitch? Hear what you talking about. It's
Candy cane.
Candy cane.
If you've thought about recording a podcast before, but like myself, realize you need a lot of different tools and services, well, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and easily distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. You can record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests and feel a sense of zen knowing that Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code WORSEPEOPLE, that's WORSEPEOPLE, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.